Make sure this is running.
Got it on go?
Okay.
You good?
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Supervisor
Here.
Councilman Barber.
Here.
Councilman Carter.
Here.
Councilman Talaski.
Here.
Councilman Barron.
Yep.
Okay. Need a motion to accept the minutes from the October 23rd special meeting, and the two public hearings that were on that as well. that day.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to accept the minutes for the October 23rd special meeting, public hearing in the 2025 budget, and the special meeting labeled number 2 for the tax cap override, and the regular monthly town board meeting.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, you all have a copy of the monthly supervisor's report. Billy and I will be having a lot of fun with Mike when he comes, because he's going to look at the way we've been doing the budget and go, that's wrong, that's wrong. But we're ready. Okay. No one scheduled to address the board. We do have a public comment. Councilman Carter has asked to speak.
So, I just wanted to bring to the board's attention and have it on record that, as everybody knows, for election, we put on the ballot for the proposal for the highway position to go from elected to appointed. With the mix with all that, there's been some rumors floating around Lime Mountain area and different areas that the board had a plan, an agenda to switch this over to an appointed position and to appoint me to this position, which is false. I just wanted to put that out there so everybody is aware of that. That rumor is not true. I will state that I did have a conversation with Mark, and I did tell Mark to his face that, yes, if it did go appointed, that I would happily put my application in for that position, and it'd have to go to civil service and so on to be even accepted for that position, and all I said was I was thinking about it. Never said that I was absolutely gonna do it, but neither here nor there. I just wanted to put that out there in public hearing, or public record, so everybody knows that it is not true. The board can even say that it can tell you themselves that there was never a discussion about that. And also, there was another rumor floating around that, we were trying to take the right away from the taxpayers for their voting right, which is false too, because that's why that was on the ballot, for the taxpayers to vote for that. And the taxpayers showed up and they voted for it. And none of us have an issue with that. The taxpayers spoke. So just wanted to make that recommended too, that we aren't trying to take anybody's right away from it. You know, just wanted to put that out there. And the rumors, I work for the state of New York, and there's rumors every day, and I don't typically whatever, but when it involves me and the board here, I'm not going to hide nothing. If anybody has an issue, they can come to me or call me or whatever, and I'll tell you point blank, I ain't got nothing to hide. And actually, I like working on the board as a councilman, and I got another year to go, and I'm really considering running for that position again because I really enjoy it. So just wanted to put that out there and let everybody know, and wanted the board to know too, because that is a rumor that's floating around. So if they hear it, they know it's not true, and
Well, it's good.
it's never
It's
discussed.
good to get in the record too, so that's good.
I mean, that's all I got to say about that.
And those people that come here and are aware of things know that it was done not against a person, but against a position. And I thought we laid out the reasons why it made more sense for it to be an appointed or hired position than an elected, simply because we could get somebody in the position that we could actually tell that, you know, if they weren't doing their job, we could tell them that they had to do it, and we could hold them accountable with an elected position. Obviously, we can't hold them accountable.
It makes it tough on them because they get calls every day on stuff for highway. So all they can do is suggest it to them because
I
it
get
takes
calls
them to dot the
from
line,
people
they-
saying, oh, I tried calling the highway superintendent, and I've been trying for 2 weeks, I can't reach him, so now I'm reaching out to you, and can you make him do this? And the answer is no, we can't make him do it, unless he breaks a law or, you know, something egregious. There's absolutely nothing we can do. So That's just the way it is.
And that's why we decided to put it out to the taxpayers to vote, because we've had a lot of calls, and if people feel that way, then that was their right to vote on that, if they wanted to change it. And they spoke, and that's that. I'm glad to see the turnout that we had, but it was a presidential election year, so.
Yep.
Hopefully next year all those voters will show up again too to vote for town
Right.
positions.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Okay, resolutions, motion to approve the November bills, let me read them into the record. General fund, $25,735.30. Highway fund, $92,121.95. Town hall, highway garage, capital fund, $1,911.09. Line Mountain Light District, $838.68. Line Mountain Sewer District, $9,650.82. Danamore Sewer, $292.25. Line Mountain Water, $12,054.76. Ledgers, $3,194.36. And Trusted Agency, $3,394.99. Just want to point out, highway is so high because finally got the truck, and so we made the first payment on that. And the water or the Line Mountain Sewer, those who live in Line Mountain know that they've been pumping septic tanks, and he did, how many tanks?
10?
13, yeah.
12?
He did quite a few tanks that were needed pumping, so. And the water district, again, we had that leak. So, anyway, the total, $149,194.20.
Go ahead and make a motion to approve to pay the monthly bills for $149,194.20.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Roll call, Jim,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Joey,
Yep.
Deb.
Yes. Okay, the next resolution I need is to approve our special meeting that's gonna be next Tuesday at 4 PM for the bond resolution for Line Mountain Wastewater Treatment Plant. We are needing to increase the bond. So right now it's at 5.6, and the engineering AES wanted to increase it to 6.9. They didn't expect it to go that much over 6, but if your bond does not cover all the bids, then you have to start from 0 again and get rebond the whole thing and start all over again if the bond does not cover what the bids come in at. So we agreed to 6.4. With the understanding that we will go through and strike anything that's not necessary for to get this done, any bells and whistles, like they build the building, and just an example, they had, a certain amount in there, $10,000 to paint the building. Well, we can paint the building ourselves, and it's gonna cost a lot less than $10,000, so when the bids are finally put out there, we're gonna go through there and really take a hard line of anything that's not necessary, rebuilding the sidewalk, things like that. We can do all that kind of work ourselves at a much cheaper rate,
Yep.
so. But we need to have a meeting on Tuesday to approve increasing the bond, so.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to have a special meeting on November 26th at 4 PM for the bond for the resolution for the WWTP.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, old business, the dam repair. So, we had an update, they came out, they reassessed it and figured out that it wasn't the seals that were the problem, that it was the stem, which is the shaft that lowers and raises the gate. And they found that they put a straight edge on it, and they found that the bottom of it deflected a little bit. So when it went all the way down, it deflected the bottom of the gate away from the seals. So it wasn't, it would have been nice had this been their discovery last October when they did this, but, because we're now a year behind, but that's what they have found to be the problem. So we got a quote from Hydrogate, which is who makes that particular gate, and the stem is total cost of,
3520.
yep. So that's the cost for the actual hardware, so,
But that doesn't include labor?
no, because this is just the manufacturer that's gonna sell us the shaft, the
Oh.
stem. So, when I talked to Seaway Diving, they said that they're not gonna change their estimate because they have overestimated anyway. They had put worst case scenario in there because they've dealt with FEMA before and they know that if you underestimate and it costs more, you're not gonna get that money. So they overestimated because they put in that it was gonna be like a 12-day repair job based on, they said, well, if the weather suddenly turns bad and we're there or whatever. So they're not gonna change their estimate, which is good as far as FEMA paperwork is, because I've dealt with FEMA today for quite a while, and so this is still ongoing. I thought we were gonna be able to wrap up FEMA by the end of the year, but it's not to be. So I just want a resolution to approve purchasing
Stem?
the stem for the gate.
That would be a resolution, that'd just be a strict monetary motion to buy.
Yeah, just to buy, yeah, I just wanna get that, in case FEMA says, well, did you get the resolution? Do you have a resolution saying that you were buying this part? Because we've had so much paperwork that goes into FEMA, and we've had to give them all kinds of resolutions that we've done throughout so I just want a resolution.
So you want a resolution, just a straight motion?
Just, yeah, well, a motion becomes a resolution once we all say aye.
Okay.
So I need a motion to purchase this.
Okay, now we're getting my side. Wait a minute. A motion would be better
I'll
than
make a
purchase.
motion to buy the stem for $3,520.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? Roll call, Jim,
Yes.
Jason,
Yeah.
Mike,
Yeah.
Joey.
Yeah.
Jen.
Yeah. Yes, Lois.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. And just so you know that mitigation for the rest of the dam, FEMA's still reviewing it. I understand that they have a lot of other issues that they're dealing with right now with the hurricanes and whatnot. So, in fact, the lead guy that was on our project has been moved off our project onto one of the hurricane projects. So,
Did they say about how long it'd be to get that part? When they're gonna put it in? Is it gonna be before?
I doubt it'll be this year.
Okay.
Because he had told me that they could dive until like mid-November. So,
Okay, springtime.
but as long as, once we have the part, then we can,
They wouldn't go in there until after high water runoff anyways.
so. And I don't anticipate us, needing to open the gates. Do you remember what level we're at right now? We're at a couple inches. We'll have to lower it.
It stays always 2 to 3 inches.
Okay, so, I think number 2, he would probably open number 2 to get it down to,
2 and 3 still operate.
Yeah.
The one's about,
and we haven't opened 3 at all since,
no.
we haven't opened 3 at all this past year. So, number 2, to open it, to get it down to the winter level. But that's the only time we'll have to do anything with that, so.
But don't we open 1, 2, and 3 just to test them, make sure they will open? Haven't we opened 1, 3 in the past?
Oh, yeah, we've opened.
Yeah, last spring they were open.
They're all open.
Yeah.
And no, we had an issue with 3 at all?
No.
Okay, so.
Just 1 and 2 leaked around it, but that's part of their shimming deal, that they're gonna shim the brass on them to stop the weeping.
Yeah, because right now, what is it, number
One when you walk in the door.
Number one, yeah, well, I don't- it's just wet. You can't see water coming out, but it just stays wet, so it's just kind of a weepy thing.
But that's the stem issue.
And then number two has, there must be something on the seal because there's one spot that's shooting out, a little bit of water, so there must be something on that gate right
A
now.
gasket, probably.
Yep, so, I mean,
Okay.
it's old gate, and like the engineer that I talked to, that David Railsback, he's like, he goes, he would be willing to talk to the state, he said, because they are trying to hold DEC tries to hold these old historic gates to the same level as new dams. And he says, and they just don't seal the way a new dam would. So he says he's had much success in a lot of the ones in Plattsburgh and down that way that are old, that, they weep all the time. And he said that's acceptable for the historic dam. So, okay. Veterans Park status update. The guys brought all the riprap for from the drainage pipe that's gonna go along where we're gonna also put in some plants that will filter some of the water going down from that culvert that leads down to the lake. They've leveled it off. And we'll be prepared to put the retaining wall in the spring. County Soil and Water came out and sprayed hydroseed they had some seed in it because they were cleaning out their machine. We were their last job for the year. Sprayed it to stabilize all that until spring when we get back in there. So we're pretty much done there for the year. I'll order all the plantings over the winter so that when we can get in there in the spring, we can get it all done.
The leaves were a nice touch.
With the,
Not the leaves. That disappeared a couple days ago.
and pickleball court repairs, you guys have those. Guess I should go to the next. So you see those, that's pretty much the same price we paid for them when we had them put in.
Oh, originally put in brand new? Really?
Which is basically, they're basically gonna do the same thing that they did before. The prices are,
Why do they vary so much then?
well, one's for 2 courts and one's for 1 court.
Oh,
So the
Must
one,
go square footage.
yeah, the one for, Emma King Park is 8,430, and then the one for the 2 in, Phillips is 12,219.
oh, I see, yeah.
My concern is that note we put there, even though we use the most up-to-date materials, cracks repaired with the standard repair method will begin to reappear once the court surface starts to experience cold temperatures. So basically, we can fix it, but it's gonna crack again. So I don't know if we wanna keep doing the same thing over and over and over, knowing that, in a couple of years it's gonna crack again.
How many years out was the first round?
I believe the first ones were put in 21.
So just 3 years ago?
2021. It hasn't been an extremely long time.
Emma King was first though, wasn't it?
Yep, they did that one first, and then did the ones in Lime Mountain.
I wonder if we could ask them if we covered them in the wintertime with a real heavy plastic or something. If that
Get
would,
that canvas tarp or something,
Yeah,
weight it down or something.
I mean, but, like plastic you wrap your house in or something, put that down, put some sandbags on it. If that's gonna help. I mean, he says cold weather here, but obviously,
Part of it's probably frost, right?
well, I would think the snow probably
That's good, but-
is probably a big factor. This is there all winter in the snow.
No, and we can cover them, we should cover them. And yeah, it might be a good
When do they
experimental
need-
project to take
When do
on.
they need an answer by?
Well, these are good for 90 days,
90
it says. So, I
Okay.
mean, we can revisit this next month. We
And
can-
When would
Table
they be able to do it? When are you looking at it?
Next, well,
Being,
next year, the sooner we get back to them, the sooner they'll schedule, but, he should be able to do it next year, seeing as he gave this proposal. Now, if we accept it and they can't do it for 2 years, they still gotta do it for this price, but,
So we should lock him in, you're saying?
but it's 90 days, so I mean, we can look and see, I can call them and ask about what we could do to counteract
For winter.
cold and whatnot.
make a suggestion, I know, looked at it already, but if we're gonna put this kind of money in these courts again, I'd really like to kind of try to consider at least getting one camera, because they destroy it, you know?
Mhm.
And try to keep an eye on that, I mean, it just, it's too bad, but you go look at the one up in Line Mountain, I mean, it's all busted up, and I mean, you're spending that kind of money, I mean,
That's a good idea.
at least try to get like if we could get one on a pole, on a telephone pole or something, and get one camera
Mhm.
kind of watching that, I mean,
Yep.
You're gonna spend that kind of money in there, the insurance doesn't pick up vandalism for that? I know we take a $5,000 hit on, but
Mhm.
you're talking 12.
Right, well, insurance should cover this. I mean, mainly, the only vandalism was that one spot on Emma King Park. I mean, the rest of it, the net that's broken in Lime Mountain is one that the players brought in, so they didn't have to shag their balls so far. You know, they put it behind them so they don't have to run and get their ball. That wooden one that's short, that was brought in by one of the guys. Who's the guy that complains all the time about the pickleball courts?
Big haircut?
That's who brought it in.
I mean, see what they recommend for the winter, I mean, they make a concrete blanket that you put over.
They gotta have something, I mean,
Or in the middle of the winter, it's just a batted, insulated,
Mm-hmm.
it must get something that they
Roll 'em out.
What's the difference between a pickleball court and a tennis court?
Surface wise, none. According, that's what is, their title says tennis resurface.
Right, well, it's a special coating, apparently it's not, the coating is designed to bounce better or something, because, like, tennis courts are just asphalt, and these have that coating on it, because that's what they were complaining about,
The
kids
ball's
riding their
not as
bikes
responsive.
Could,
and spinning it up, and,
maybe,
but,
call around, I know, Chattagay's got like 2 beautiful ones right there off 3 St. Ford, call there, call, I can find out from work, there's a guy at work, it's huge.
mhm,
We're playing county up in St. Lawrence County, maybe make a couple calls, see what they do.
mhm.
I mean, 'cause they got a lot of money in that one in Chattagay.
These
That's-
people may sell a winter cover for it.
yeah, possible.
Okay, I can call them, we can table this until next month.
There must be something there.
Gotta be something.
Something.
I mean, when you get a proposal and it says right on it that, you know, it's gonna crack.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see again in 2 years for another 12,000.
Well, when you got snow for 6 months.
Yeah, well, we'd have to keep people off it too, is the thing. If we put a cover on it, you know, if we put some kind of,
Yeah.
something on it, have to make sure
Could
that,
even at this time of year or even earlier, lock the gate.
well, the gate, did you see, we went up there?
I didn't stop, yeah, she said something about the
Yeah.
thing, somebody tried to push it open.
Well, it's open, because, and then they must have, because Matt had locked it, you know, so it was locked, the lock is still in there, and the U-shaped thing doesn't, you know, it's locked in one position, but it's not on, so somebody
tried to-
stretched it enough to get that off the bar so they could open it and get inside. So, you know, if we gotta chain it, what we have to do, I mean, it's like, really?
That's why I say, I mean, it's crazy, but when you're spending that kind of money, I mean,
Yep,
unfortunately, we gotta do it at the beach.
Crazy.
yeah, and, you know, and you figure that you spend that and someone's gonna come around and do something to it, so. All right, we'll table that and I'll make some calls.
Okay.
Is there an update on the comprehensive plan?
Yep, I had the last action item on that. My job was to call NG Engineering. I did. Left a message with them, called them back in today. Left a message with them, and apparently they closed early for some reason, but their web page says they closed at 5, and I called at 20 after 4, said looking for an update, can you let me know? And I said I'll be here at the house till I think I called them at 4 o'clock, so I'll be here till 4:30, and I never got a call back, so I'll call them again tomorrow. But I had to get them scheduled in as another as another, resource to see what they can do, for us, cause we already have AES. I think we need at least 3,
Mhm.
4 if we can, so. MG Engineering was the one recommended by Chesterfield Supervisor Clayton Barber, so I'm just waiting for a call back. I'll call him again tomorrow morning.
And Billy made the pile of stuff.
Yeah, I got those.
Okay,
We had a meeting, our first meeting was on the what, 29th,
Yeah,
just after the board meeting. We now have 8 people. We had 6. We're up to 8. Sue Baker, who is a Dannemora native, doesn't live in Dannemora anymore though. Shelby Spear, who runs the dollar store in Dannemora. Franklin Mountain, Joe, myself, Mary Johnson, who's a Chateauguay Lake resident and is also part of the association and a big spearhead on the Purcell Accord. And Matt Furman, who's a resident of Lime Mountain, a young guy who's pretty on the ball. And Larry lives on the Shades Lake Road, and I do not know Larry's last name.
Pettis,
Pettis.
Pettis, yeah.
P-E-T-T-I-S.
P-I-T-T-I-S.
T-T?
P-I-T-T-I-S.
Is it an I?
Yes.
This
Pettis?
is taxes.
Pettis.
And Sue Baker doesn't live in Dannemora, but she has property on Shazy Lake.
She has property on Shades Lake and in Dannemora. But it
Yeah.
is Leander Lamar's daughter.
Yeah.
Originally, or still would be. So we did get a hold of AES, like Joe said. The guy came up, Alexander Munn, he is like the grant writer, gave us a lot of stuff to go on. $10,000, which would be refundable in the grant if the grant is accepted. Maybe another 5,000 somewhere along the line, so probably just to get rolling, $10,000 to $15,000. Our 2 sources for grants are the State Department and DEC. Right now, the State Department is the only available one. DEC has gone 7 years. They probably have to wait till budget time to see if they're gonna go again. There's a process to this. We missed it for this year.
Yep.
If we were to hire whichever company, so AES, we've talked with, Joe's got MJ Engineering, and we're looking to get someone else. We have, what's her name?
Who's the one that you had?
Melissa McManus. She's a grant writer, but she's not
Right.
she doesn't draw up the plan itself. She could write the grant for the money, but we would still need to coordinate probably with one of the other
Engineering firm,
companies
right.
in order to get it written. She only does grants, and the guy at AES says she's trying to retire, so I don't know how available she is.
Yeah, we definitely want somebody who's gonna administer the grant as well as write it, because that's where all the work is administering it.
The State Department, we have to hire someone, whichever company we hire, about April 1st. They would meet with us, go over some things, and in May 25th through July 25th is the send-in date. And then November is the award month for the grant. So between now and April 1st, we need to pick somebody. Plus, we're probably gonna have a couple meetings to kind of see what everybody's feel is, so when we do hire someone, we have some ideas. He obviously is gonna have a lot of ideas, but we will give him some, where we wanna head, what we wanna do. I do have some stuff that Alexander sent me. I put it back, Billy Joe put it back away, because, whenever we have the next meeting, I'll hand it out. So APA and DEC do supersede us no matter what we write, so. He wasn't sure of that, but he found that out, and then there's a couple other things he sent me also. But that was my big question too, if we make up this big program and then, APA gonna shoot us in the foot anyways.
They could.
So, they could. Another recommendation he made was, and as a board, we haven't talked about it, but he made a recommendation that we include the village of Dannemora, which I already think has their own set of bylaws, or not bylaws, but I actually think they have zoning. I do not know that for sure, but he said including them would make it, seeing as that's where a lot of population is, that's where most of the businesses for the town are, He said that just would make the grant that much thicker for getting it. Whether we do that or not, I don't know. Dannemora is its own bird, you know, they fly with their own,
That wins.
with their own set of wings, so, I did call the county to see what was available, and our illustrious leader, Mike Zerlo, after 3 messages and 2 messages with the secretary, never called me back. So, that's where we are right now, and we're just waiting on MJ. We'll set up a meeting once they can come and talk to us, and I don't know if we can find anybody else or not.
Then you have one more, you said that we might do as a, you mentioned it, I think it was a guy's name.
Melissa McManus, but she's
No,
only.
it was a guy's
no,
name. She
She's only half
mentioned.
of it.
I'll have to think about it then. I know we had talked about, was there any traction with thinking about, going with the village on a shared service and just expanding their
No,
zoning
because when
board?
we talked after that, I mean, I definitely could put that down and,
'Cause,
so Debbie and I talked when I was telling her what was going on with the meeting, and she said maybe we could reverse it and get their set and incorporate that into the town, what the village has, incorporate that into the town, and maybe save us a whole bunch of money, cause top end, this is probably about $100,000.
Yeah. The fees and stuff.
but yeah, if we could, cause I know the mayor has asked me about is there any areas where we could do shared services? I mean, if they already have zoning, if there's a way for them to just expand their territory into the town, then, you know, we, of course, to sit on the board, we would have, on their zoning board, we would have our own, you know, town representatives on it and whatnot, but that's something to, I don't know if that's even possible.
They got a planning board there for stuff like that, for the zoning.
Yeah, they have a planning board and a zoning board, so.
When is he up for election? It's a 4-year
Probably
term, right?
another year
It's a
and
4-year
a
term.
half.
Is he 4
Yeah.
years?
Yeah, but
So
it starts in June, so he
2
was
more.
elected,
In June of this
the
year.
June after I was
June
elected.
after.
So he'll be done the middle of 26.
6, yeah. Okay.
So.
Well, worth a conversation, I think.
Just to see if it's possible. I mean, it might not be something we really want to do once we look into it, but it's
But
an
even if we
option.
can get our hands on their plan and so read it, would be something good to see.
Mhm. Yep. And who knows, back, you know, they probably had zoning and planning for, you
A
know,
long
60
time.
years. Who knows the rules back then, probably they could have just, you know, written it up themselves and,
I had a long time, my grandma used to be on the planning board.
It's just.
well, and their sign says, you know, welcome to the village of Dannemora, zoning in effect.
Just for the audience's knowledge, we're one of the very few towns that have not a comprehensive plan. The 3 towns I talked to, their supervisors, some of these plans are 30, 40, 50 years old.
Mhm.
Well, there's a lot of new ones too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, almost everybody's coming on board now.
Mhm.
Well, they see the writing on the wall.
Yep, well, they see there's a massive migration north from below, so. Okay, is that it
For
for
now.
now?
That's it.
Okay, thank you guys.
Till we talk to MJ.
EMS update, Jason, you wanna?
Well, there's still a few things to work out, we're just trying to get another meeting scheduled for the planning board, but just so everybody knows, the EMS crew is in Lime Mountain, they've been there since last Wednesday, and I don't know how long they're gonna be up there, but I know we're trying to work out a schedule, and have them up there for a week, and then down in Danmore for a week, or something, I don't know.
When they're in Dannemora, where do they stay there?
At the firehouse, which is really crowded and tight,
And they have to
and
leave
they don't
their,
like it there.
whatever, if they can't park inside, they'll have to take a fire truck out to put the ambulance inside, or
Well,
they have to leave
they
it
can park
running.
inside, but you can't, like, they have to back the brush truck all the way up, you can't walk behind the brush truck, and the ambulance backs in, and you have to jump on the back of the ambulance across to get over to the other side of the bay, and in front of the door, there's like this much room, and then, obviously, it's upstairs, and there's no shower room, there's nothing up there, so the paid staff kinda likes up there, but it's a work in progress. put it that. Communication is
What did
good.
they shuffle out of the village for?
What's that?
Why'd they move out of there to go up to Line Mountain?
Well, apparently, some bed bugs or something was brought into the firehouse. One, supposedly.
One bug.
One bug? Okay.
But neither here or there. I had Debbie reach out and I wanted to get another meeting set up and I'd like to try to get all of us together. And, because the communication is horrible. I'll be point blank, 100% horrible.
I think they like it that way though.
Like right now, our ambulance, I think is good to go, but I have not gotten anything in notice. I've not gotten a formal email. Debbie hasn't gotten one. You guys haven't gotten one. And to me, as a steer board committee, I think like this bed bug thing, there should have been an email sent out to all of us saying, hey, just so you know, we paid South on Line Mountain. This is the issue, blah, blah, blah. There's no communication whatsoever.
Yeah, and
I'm not very happy about
the
it.
first I was communicated to about it was Monday.
So I got a phone
Sean
call.
called me.
So, and this is what makes me mad, is I got a phone call from one of the staff members, oh, hey, just let you know we're up here at your station, I'm like, oh, perfect. Never, and I still haven't heard one thing from anybody down there,
Yeah, so
so,
Sean called me mainly to let me know that they would be spraying and, you know, they're doing all the spraying and all that cool stuff at the firehouse. And,
Firehouse in Dannemora.
yes.
Dannemora, yeah.
Okay.
And then they offered, they said if you're uncomfortable with having our staff there thinking that they're going to be transporting, then we would be more than happy to also spray the firehouse, but then he told me that there was a video of one bed bug, so he's kind of suspicious about that too.
Even that sounds just
Overall, it's like I was pushing
Yeah.
for a couple days a week, and the staff wanted to go there all winter. But I was like, hey, by all means, but the village doesn't like that idea. And I just pushed back as in, hey, you had a contract with Saranac for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, whatever it is. 6 months out of the year, they're down there in the winter. 6 months out of the year, they're in Dannemora. I said, why can't, no, they don't like that. It's like 3 miles more.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a big deal. We gotta wait for them to come, so vice versa.
Well, at least when they're going from there, it's on their way, so they don't have
I
to.
think I got a little bit of something going on, but I'm not very happy with the communication, so when we set the meeting, I'd just like to see all of us there.
So we're gonna try to set it for either Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
Because
I don't care, I'd
Because
definitely be there.
Alex
because-
is on vacation, so
Well, I
he wants
got,
to have Alex there, so,
there's issues about that too.
yeah. So, anyway,
It's a lot better, I like to say, I don't wanna get too crazy, because hey, they're in my mountain, I've been pushing for that for a year now, but this year's been a
yeah.
headache.
And I just want to emphasize, even when they're not in Line Mountain, we still have a response
Yeah,
time
they're
that
still getting there in
beats
good
every other location.
But people gotta understand that, we got a contract with them, and it's the district, it's Line Mountain, town of Dannemora is Line Mountain, we're all one, so it don't matter, I mean, even if they're stationed in Line Mountain for the winter, there might have been a call in Dannemora, so people gotta take that into consideration, or they had to go down there and do paperwork. Yep, they still might have to respond from there, I mean, it's one of them things, I mean, it's a big, town of Dannemora is pretty big, I mean, it is what it is.
So apparently we really thought that Saranac would cry foul with Morrisonville, but they haven't, I take it. So they must have signed a new contract for 2025.
I don't know.
I saw their contract, I can actually show it to you. There's a lot of people that that are pretty upset about it, but I heard usually sometimes when they do a contract, it's like a 3-year contract. I'm not 100% sure, so I don't know if they had to sign again this year or not, I don't know.
I heard it was a 1-year trial, that's what I heard.
Yeah, so I don't know, because I mean, last year,
But,
they didn't have a contract till after January. I mean, their contracts got signed in January.
And that there was, this is one of the things I've been battling this whole last year, and it's like, hey, listen, that's gone. We can't worry about that, unless they come back, then we can start talking about that. We need to look forward to this contract. You're with us, we're with you, we need to work on this, not, hey, Saranac might come back, so we might do this. No. I mean, we gotta think about us right now. I mean, it'd be great if you could come back, because it'd be a lot bigger,
Yeah, it'd be bigger and
more.
we'd have
staff.
more ambulances and we'd have, less cost per thousand, but,
This is what it is for now.
yep. All right, anything else in old business? Maybe new business. Parents' Night Out, if you haven't heard about it, it's next Monday from 5 to 9 in here. We're going to have treats. We're gonna show movies for kids ages 4 to 11. It's free. Parents can drop off their kids or their grandkids, go do shopping, do what they gotta do, go sit at home and just stare at the wall where it's peace and quiet, whatever you need to do. But we did give a deadline of the 18th, but we still have open slots, so if anybody wants to take advantage of this, we
I got
promise
4.
we will take good care of your children.
I got 3 kids, my wife.
Well, she has 5, so,
Who's supervising 25 kids in here?
You are.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other
we are,
part.
yeah, we are.
Who's we?
Billy,
Okay.
me,
I didn't see
Steph.
that.
And,
Steph
Okay,
Chusta,
yeah.
because it's
and Mr. Carter.
and Jason.
Oh,
Jason's gonna be the whip. He's the soft,
Make the
we'll be the
popcorn.
whips. He'll be like, oh,
Whatever.
lovely.
Be the popper.
But anyway, so if you know anybody that needs a break or wants to go do some Christmas shopping, early Christmas shopping without having their kids with them, that's what this opportunity is for. So, like I said, or they can join us if they want to come and just, watch movies, watch the kids, interact with other kids and have treats and whatnot. Anything goes. And if we can have success with this, we'd want to do it sometime in December too, again, to give people a chance to run and get gifts that they don't want their kids to see or whatever. So, please spread the word. Have them call the office, even on Monday, if, during the day on Monday, if they suddenly realize that they have some time that they can do that, then by all means. We did get the new tandem. The old truck is stored. They mothballed it. They got it all ready to run. It's ready to roll. If need be, it's up in cold storage. And if something happens with one of our trucks, here down for maintenance or whatever, that one's ready to go. So, we do need to get the GPS out of it though, so I'll make that call tomorrow.
And put it in a new
And
one?
set that up.
Put it in a new one?
Mhm.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, I have a question on that. How come they don't leave it down here for the winter in the heated garage?
Because there won't be room in the
No
court
room.
here.
Didn't we have 4 trucks in there before?
Only 3.
We have 3 and then we keep the other equipment in the maintenance bay.
There would have been room before, but now you got a brand new backhoe that's in there.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, we got all that big equipment in there.
We got the Avani too.
Yeah.
Takes up more room.
Forgot about the backhoe.
So it's ready to go up there. I mean, and I think they're gonna keep it plugged in too, so that it's
Oh,
really
good.
They
ready.
don't check it when they need it, it'll be dead as a doornail.
No, there's no way that building or that truck can be vandalized, is there?
I mean, somebody could break into the building, I suppose, but it's
Everything's
locked.
locked out. There's dummy cameras on there, so. Yeah, people don't know.
There's real cameras on there.
Real cameras,
Real dumb.
whatever.
Okay.
There's cameras up there.
Yeah.
Quite a few of them, actually.
Anybody else have any new business?
No.
No.
New business.
All right. You guys have, and you have the dog report and the Shane's report and
Yeah, that's
this other thing, this winter energy workshop. This is just something to, if you know anybody who could benefit from that.
nice to see we got some lines from Shane. That's nice to see.
Property
You just-
maintenance, yeah,
you
got
just
4 of them. Okay, committee reports. So we took down the Hometown Hero banners. There are 10 of them that shouldn't really be put back up. They're starting to tear, or else you can almost see, if they go back up, they would probably not last. The wind would probably finish them off. So, I wrote a letter to send to the,
Family?
purchasers of those particular ones and asking them what they want to do. If you remember back in '22, we had made the resolution that we would start hanging them in here once they were decommissioned from, being hung out in the street. So those letters will go out tomorrow. Actually, 3 of them went out today. One went to your mother, because Kenny's has a big spot
Ripped
down the
through it.
middle that probably shouldn't get put
Okay.
back up. And if they go up here, then we won't put one on the
Back.
street, not 2 of them. I mean, you're more than welcome to buy another one and put it up in your yard or whatever, but the town won't put up 2, just for space, because we've got lots of them.
Well, the letter actually specifies if you want to purchase one, what it's gonna cost, right?
It doesn't, this is just letting you know that it's been decommissioned, that the banner you purchased got decommissioned, and it's your property, so you can either come and get it and hang it at your house, or hang it someplace else, or if you want, we can hang it in here. So it explains, both of those options, and, I mean, some people might wanna take it and bring it to their house or whatever, but we had, mine included, mine got pretty whipped, but it's coming down.
There's a lot of wind this year.
So we have 10 of them that really can't get put back up.
Okay.
So I know a lot of towns, they put a 2-year limit on all of them anyway. They were only gonna hang them for 2 years, that's it. Like the village, that's how theirs is. They have a 2-year limit. Once it's hung twice, they don't put them back up, but we figured that as long as it was still viable, it could go up, but. Water District 2, Jim, that,
We need to do something, retrieve the addresses of at least those two homesteads there.
mhm,
The guy that owns, who owns the old place, does own now it's a business or something. Maybe talk to Matt and see what you need to put for legality into it.
mhm.
That they're mandated that they need to let the water run. Otherwise, they could be held responsible for the cost of the freezing.
That owner, that guy, yeah, Techo had called me, and he asked me he says, I don't know who did it last year, I think it was you, could go in and make sure that it was still running down in the basement. And I